Hello and welcome to Village in Motion. This August the 27th. It is a Thursday, and we have a kind of a different show this morning on the Resident Council Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on Village in Motion. Hello, I'm Clint Lambert, host of Village in Motion this morning, and we have a show this morning on the Resident Council Show of three different residents. The first resident that we have today is Marie Lee, and she's going to talk to us about a hearing loss support group that she wants to get started. And Marie, we're so glad to have you with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
You've got a hearing loss, I understand.
I do. I've lost most of my hearing, and I hear now with a cochlear implant.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about a cochlear implant? I mean, I know some people that have one, and I know there's people that do not have any idea what one is.
Well, a cochlear implant is a device that is implanted in your skull and through part of your ear, and the processor takes the place of your cochlea. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's a miracle device. And it is only used for people who have a very profound hearing loss. So you have to be either deaf or close to deaf. They're using them widely now for infants who are born with no hearing, and so that they can gather communication skills, which is just marvelous for their entire life.
Yes. And you've been experiencing this for a number of years with your cochlear implants?
Well, I had my cochlear implant done about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Prior to that, I wore 2 hearing aids, and they helped me considerably, especially when you can't hear anything.
Yes.
You need to have something to help you. But the cochlear implant has done just marvelous things for my hearing. I feel very comfortable with it.
Very good.
And I'm contemplating having a second one done on my other ear, which will give me a more balanced hearing.
Yes. Okay. And no one would know that you have the cochlear implant with the way that your hair is shaped, and
well, it's easy to hide it. but there are men who have them.
Yes.
And hairstyles today you can wear long or short, whatever you'd like.
Right.
But I find that sometimes if people you're speaking with can see your hearing device, whether it be a hearing aid or an implant, they know that you don't hear them very well, and so they're more apt to speak directly to you, or to raise their voice a little bit, or to speak more slowly and clearly.
Oh, all right. So there's pros and cons to letting people see the hearing device, right?
That's right.
All right. You're fairly new here at Green Spring, is that right?
Yes, my husband John and I took residence in February, but we moved from Alabama, and so we really didn't take occupancy until May.
Oh, okay.
And we started living here in May, so we've been here 3 months.
3 months, right?
And we're enjoying every day.
Great. And I understand that you've already started getting involved with things, and you want to do a hearing loss support group.
Yes. We've kind of taken the summer off just to get acclimated to Green Spring and to the Washington area where we lived, but some 25 years ago. But I noticed that there are many people here with hearing aids, and knowing the age of everyone here at Green Spring, over 62, and there is a great majority of the residents and even some staff who would benefit by knowing more about hearing loss, and especially what to do about it. Many people know that they have a hearing loss. Many know they have a hearing loss and are in denial about having a hearing loss, but there are a great number of people who have a hearing loss who don't know what they can do. And I feel that a support group for this group of people here at Green Spring, including staff, would be very beneficial.
Very good. Have you already checked all this out with community resources as far as setting up a group and getting a room and time?
I followed the steps and went to my community resource person, Kelly Luke Shander, and I also met with my social worker, Catherine Hornbeck, and they both gave me some advice on how to set up this support group. So we have set up a date of October 22nd at 10:30 in the morning, and right now we're in the Village Square classroom to have our first presentation. And that presentation will be one that I'm going to do it's a slide presentation that I developed for an OLLI class in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And of course, OLLI is for senior learners, and it is appropriate to our situation here at Green Spring. And it's a lot of fun. And within the presentation, I'm going to give a little hearing test to all those who come to the presentation. And it'll be a very different hearing test from any that anyone's had before.
All right. So October 22nd.
October 22nd.
10:30.
10:30.
Village Square classroom, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do they need to call you to let you know they're coming, or is there any RSVP, or do you want people to call, or if they want additional information, they could call you, right?
Yes, they're welcome to call me. And I'm at Walden Court 302. If anybody'd like to drop by and talk, or if they want to meet me someplace, I'll be glad to talk to them. And I'm just looking forward to filling the classroom, and if we know ahead of time we're going to have more than that, then we will try to find a larger room.
Very good. Yeah, because there's a number of individuals here who have hearing difficulties, some more evident than others, and it's just as you said, a lot of us kind of deny the fact that we really have a hearing loss.
Yes, and that's just human nature, I believe, that we deny that something is not quite right. But it's very important to take care of your hearing, and it's important to admit that you have a hearing loss if you can't understand the directions the doctor is giving you. If you're, even when you're driving, if you can't hear horns honking at you. But more than that, when you can't hear your neighbors and you can't hear your friends, you begin to withdraw, and you'll find yourself sitting more and more in your apartment and not getting out and socializing. And socialization is an extremely important part of aging.
Most definitely.
And so that is my goal, is that we don't have anyone sitting in their apartment because they feel like they can't participate, because they can't hear.
Right. So I mean, it really is important to be able to hear.
It is. It is.
With the different devices that people have, and there must be a lot of different devices people have here, any recommendations, any thoughts, considerations with any of those different devices?
No, of course, I'm not a medical person.
Right.
And my experience over the last 30-some years that I have worn hearing aids, I found that my audiologist was my best friend. And I think that there are people who buy a hearing aid and they don't go to an audiologist. And of course, you need the audiologist's expertise and knowledge to help you find the proper sounding for your hearing loss.
Right.
And then if you still can't hear with it, it's important to go back to your audiologist and say, why can't I hear with this hearing aid?
Exactly.
But I also think that hearing aids are, you get what you pay for. So if you're buying a very inexpensive hearing aid, you're going to find that it's not going to give you the capabilities that you were looking for. And I think it's important to remember that hearing aids are essentially a little machine with a microphone. They're not a human brain.
Right.
But they have researched and found out if you don't use your brain to hear, then you will start losing more and more of it. So it is important to keep in touch with that.
Well, as you probably know, we've had different hearing assistance devices in our various venues over the years. And I know that we're looking at, again, making sure that each of the venues have an adequate hearing system, hearing assist system in it, such as the loop.
Yes, there is a new technology, and of course the technology is changing every day. And I personally feel that Green Spring should be on the cutting edge of the technology for hearing. And I don't know what type of transmitter is used, for instance, in the chapel or in some of the other areas. I do see that they're subtitling or closed captioning movies that are shown,
Right.
which is wonderful. Because we just really need to find out what we do have
Yes.
and then use it to the best of its ability.
Yes.
And if it's not the best out there, then we need to figure out how can we get the best.
Exactly, exactly. But at least we're making people aware, and such as having a hearing loss support group, making people aware there are resources, there are places to turn to help you.
Exactly. It's going to be kind of a misery loves company. And so there will be many other people out there. I know there are people here at Green Spring who are frustrated because they can't hear everything. They can't hear what's being said at the dinner table. They can't hear their television.
Right.
And so what I'm hoping is by getting us all together, that in a group we can discuss what we need to do or what individuals need to do.
Have you organized a support group in the past, or is this the first time?
Well, yes and no. I have done quite a few activities out in the community. In a small town in Mississippi, I served on the city board as an alderman, and I did quite a few groups there and things that I knew that the city needed as we worked toward progress. And so I'm very comfortable with trying to get a group together.
Okay, very good. Well, I certainly hope you get a large group together and that you guys really look at what we have as well as what do we need.
Yes, and I would mention that I have talked to our executive director, Ben Cornthwaite, and he is behind us. I visited with him very early on in my tenure here at Green Spring, and he said, well, we need to find out what we do have.
Right.
And make it the best experience for everyone.
Well, I think we've got the right person here to do that.
Well, I thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk about it. And I hope you'll join us also, Clint.
Okay. Well, I look forward to doing that and wish you the best in forming the group. And again, it's a hearing loss support group. Marie Lee is the coordinator, facilitator for the support group, and that's going to be on October 22nd. 10:30 in the morning in the Village Square classroom, and you can reach Marie at 852-1113.
That's correct.
So if you see her around campus, stop her, say hello, and make sure you make that meeting, okay? October 22nd, 10:30 a.m. Marie, thank you so very much for joining us,
Thank
today.
you.
All right. Folks, don't run away. We've got a roll in right now, and it's on Eye on Green Spring, the Rounders, and then we'll be back to talk to some of our committee members. Stay tuned.
I'm Anita Garifo. And I'm Kelly Luke Shander. Welcome to Eye on Green Spring. Today we're featuring round dancing. And we're gonna cucaracha and do the rumble.
That's not the way we do it, Anita.
Ralph, I remember when you came in my office and you were so enthusiastic about starting this new club, the Round Dancers. And now you have people from off campus wanting to join you too?
Yeah.
What do you attribute this success to?
I think any kind of dancing is helpful, whether it's square dancing, round dancing, line dancing, ballroom dancing. It all does a lot of good things for us. You know, the Blackpool Festival that I attended not long ago, they said that dance for pleasure and you'll dance forever, right? And I think there's a lot of truth to that because you really can enjoy it. It helps you physically, it helps you mentally, it helps you meet other people. Some of them are very nice people. Well, most of
My name is Ken Reiner. We've been dancing for over 30, my wife and I have been dancing for over 30 years, and we've been teaching choreographed ballroom around dancing for at least the past 8 years. We've probably known Ralph Driscoll, all right, who is sponsoring the round dance group here at Green Spring for close to those 30 years, and have been dancing with him, almost that much time. Well, we're doing a number of different rhythms, all right? You'll see the dancers doing rumbas, cha-chas, waltzes, two-steps, and even a little jive, because that's the rhythm we're currently working on. We meet here at Green Spring every Monday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m., so you're more than welcome to come out and join us. We're finishing up the jive class, and I think next we're going to go to a foxtrot rhythm. So if you are interested at all in brushing up your ballroom dancing or just coming out and having some fun, please join us.
Welcome back to Village in Motion this Thursday, August 27th. Very glad that you have stuck around and are with us. And this segment of the show, we have two of our committee members, and one of them is our council liaison to the Health Services Medical Center Committee, and that's Peggy Patterson. Peggy, we're glad to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
And the other one is the chairman of the council's Health Services Committee, and she does a lot of work, I tell you. Barbara Hawkins, and we're very glad to have Barbara with us this morning. The two of them really have done a tremendous job this year in promoting health services and working with the staff and keeping all of us residents informed of what's going on in health services. What kind of things you guys have going on these days in Health Services Committee?
Oh, you want me to start with that one? Well, we have developed quite a relationship with the directors of the medical center and the practice administrator at the medical center and the director of Garden Ridge and the associate director of Garden Ridge. And as a result, I'm a relatively new resident in Green Spring.
Yes.
I've learned a lot that I feel the rest of the community really needs to know too. And I think that's probably one of our greatest goals, and I think a pretty positive achievement at this point.
Yes.
We are eager to share with other folks what we've learned about these two services offered here in Green Spring, and that's where a lot of our focus has been, developing that relationship, serving as ambassadors literally for those two programs, but we've participated in a number of things. Peggy headed up a big part of the blood drive and set it up, organized the recruitment of donors.
Yeah.
Talk about that, Peggy.
We did. We, with the help of Diane to get us started, we went to each of the dining rooms and we had volunteers at the tables to sign people up.
Yes.
And we did very well. And we are working or giving thought towards doing a blood drive next year.
Great.
And so when that time comes around, we hope everybody will be willing to either give blood, and we know everybody can't,
Right.
but you can help to volunteer, excuse me, help to volunteer the day of, and we'll just take it from there.
Sounds good. Well, I understand this year has been the first year that the committee really has been actively involved in the blood drive, and I attribute that to the two of you.
Well, I don't know that we get the credit, but we'll take it out. You know, one of the other things that I think we're really kind of proud of, we asked for our committee members to have tours of Garden Ridge.
Ah, yes.
As a resident here in Green Spring, one of the reasons I'm here is because it's a continuing care facility here. But I wanted to know what's going to happen to me and to my family down the road. But if I feel like that, so do many of the other residents. And so what we've started with is tours. When we started with our committee, and that expanded to all the council committees, which I think was a great achievement, we are participating in their ambassador program, which is a program Garden Ridge has established and already has some participants above and beyond our committee. And our goal is then to share with the rest of the residents what we know, answer some questions, correct some misinformation, and that type of thing. And I think it's been kind of fun to see the interest that has evolved as a result of those tours.
Yeah.
And the folks at Garden Ridge seem to really welcome us. And if any of the residents want a private tour, they can call either Peggy or me and we'll help arrange it, or they can contact the sales office directly at Garden Ridge, and they will be happy to show them around and tell them how things work. We all need to know this in case we need it.
Yes. And it's always nice to know what we have, what's available.
Exactly.
What's it like? What's the staff like over there? Because many of us are going to eventually use that facility. Either it's a rehab facility with outpatient rehab, or as an assisted living or skilled nursing.
That's right. And there was a recent program provided by the Home Health Services that I hope if it comes about again, more and more people will take advantage of that, because we all need to know what to do and when to do it when our personal time comes.
Right, yeah, in regards to. Well, as you know, I went on the tour with the council, and even though that my wife and I have been here 7 years, we had never taken a tour of Garden Ridge, and it was really very educational for us and very meaningful to see what was there.
Well, I think the main thing that we all need to bring our thoughts to is that if we know what is available, then we do not fear what will
Very good
happen in our days ahead of us.
That's exactly right.
It's going to be what it's going to be, and we want to be able to be as happy and as active as we can. And I'm really surprised, and maybe that's not a real good word to use, but I'm really surprised at how active the folks at Garden Ridge are. If you go to their meetings that they have, or just their general activities, they have dances, they have movies, they go off campus for lunch and other activities. It's just really interesting to see how active the staff keep the residents in Garden Ridge. And I think that's wonderful, because we don't want people to have an idea that when you go to Garden Ridge, you're just there.
Right, right.
Because does not have to be the case.
Yes. With the programs that you've done, and you've started working with the ambassadors as well, right? And you have ambassadors through
Yes.
the committee
Yes.
as well. What do the ambassadors do?
Well, as I understand it, the first thing is for us to have individually a good understanding of Garden Ridge and the services it offers. How I fulfill my role is I wear on my name badge a little tag that says I'm an ambassador, and that invites questions. And you're an ambassador to what? What are you ambassador about? Well, what I'm all about is correcting misconceptions, answering questions, or telling people how to get the answers. And I don't know all the answers, that's for sure. But to encourage people while they're still able to explore the alternatives for help in your apartment or in Garden Ridge, or as an outpatient, or as a short-term rehab, or whatever your problem is, just to understand. There's a lot of misconceptions about what it's all about, and just the tour alone and the orientation sessions that we've received has clarified a lot of that for us.
Great, very good.
I'd like to talk a little bit about
Okay.
the medical center.
Sure, because that's a major thing also.
That's the other half of our committee, the other part of our committee. We've established a very nice relationship with the practice administrator, Jeanette Valquez, and Dr. Bethel, who is the medical director. And Jeanette came on board not long before Peggy and I came on board, so there's been a lot of changes down there. And we want to hear back from the residents any problems that they may have. We've been encouraging filling out the comment cards, just like we have for dining services, general services, and what have you. Let the medical center know if you have some problems. When we review those comment cards, then we meet with Jeanette and we discuss the issues and come up with some kind of an action plan. Not a formal action plan, just some advice. My background has been in nursing and practice management, in hospital administration, so why not use some of my mistakes and my errors and my education in the past? And we get a report from both Garden Ridge and the medical center every month at our meeting. And so we see how many patients they see and what their response time for telephone calls and same-day appointments. And I'm quite impressed.
They're seeing, what, over 2,000 patients a month?
I don't have it memorized,
Yeah.
but yes.
Approximately,
Yeah,
yes.
and they're responding after hours.
Within minutes on
Yes.
their after-hours
Yes.
calls and their same-day appointments. There isn't a doctor's office in the metropolitan area that's going to treat you the way these
Right.
folks do.
And you can always get in to be seen. You may not see your primary
There's
healthcare
somebody
provider,
there that's going to screen you for
Yeah.
sure.
but you'll either see a nurse practitioner or one of the physicians.
That's
anytime you go
exactly
over,
right.
Which is wonderful.
It is.
You know?
It
So
is.
we literally have health care at our fingertips.
We do. And knowing what's there and how to access it before you need it, I think is one of the primary things that we're most concerned with.
But it's also important if somebody's having an issue with whatever in the medical center, if they're not satisfied with the care they received or the attitudes or something along those lines, that they need to let people know, right?
Absolutely. Don't just complain about it at the dinner table. Let's do something about it.
And you guys have comment cards, right?
We do.
We
I'm sorry,
do.
Peggy, you start
No,
saying.
that's okay. We want people to know that Jeanette is very open to people coming to her and saying, I have concerns about this, I have concerns about that. She will be happy to work with you, as do Karen Boyce and Holly Barrero. Any of the staff that you need to talk to, they are very open to helping you with any of your concerns.
Very
So
good.
don't hesitate to approach them.
And they can approach you as well.
They
if
can.
they have an issue.
We're happy to be conduits.
Right.
That's what we are.
That's what the committees are, right?
That's
what
in
we
regards
are.
to it. And we're just so glad that both of you came this morning and talked about health services and talked about medical center and Garden Ridge. And hope everybody gives them a call, gets on a tour list,
Please
and
do.
takes a tour of Garden Ridge and becomes an ambassador and utilizes the medical center wherever you need to. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Well,
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us, both of you. Don't go away, folks. We've got some announcements that are coming up. And the very first one is special programming. And it's Steve Guback's travel log. And that's today at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. And then on Friday on Village in Motion, we have celebrating our Telly winners, the Unknown Soldier, and our own Green Spring Troubadour, Gray Parks. And then on the Video Time Machine, we have a discussion about space with Richard Shemp, and that's July the 1st, 2011. And that will be done on Sunday at 4 and 7 p.m. And then Monday on Village in Motion, we have Celebrating Telly Awards, our number 25th and 26th. Folks, we've got 26 tellies that this studio and this channel has achieved over the years. And that's going to be shown at 10 o'clock Monday on Village in Motion. And then Monday's feature is Partisan Divide, that will be shown at 2 and 8 p.m. And Catholic Mass, which will be at 5 and 8 p.m. on Monday. But, I said 8, it's 9 p.m. 5 and 9 p.m. on Monday for Catholic Mass. Have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Take care. And remember, the fourth Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. is the Resident Council TV show, Village in Motion. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.